In this video, I want to discuss the power of analyzing the blockchain data, of not just looking at price developments, but actually to look at, say, holder developments over time, or at activity, what kind of tokens get traded the most, because that way we figured out how to spot very small but potentially fast growing projects. Look at this, for example. This is the KLUV token. And we first discussed this in the premium membership here on the 6th of August. This is where the vertical line is. And since then, the price went up by more than 100%, right? Just a few days ago. So that was this video over here. So we discussed Chain of Legends. It's a play to earn game, and also KLUV. And the way we found out about this pretty small cap, right? The liquidity pool is only 224,000 US. The way we found out about this is simply with Dune Analytics. So Dune Analytics is a platform that aggregates blockchain data, or that transforms blockchain data. It takes the blockchain data and then moves it into PostgreSQL databases. So when you know how to query data with Postgre, you know how to get data with Dune Analytics, and thus you can find out who are the largest holders of a certain coin, who is currently selling, where is currently a lot of DEX activity happening. And with that, we looked at the Binance Smart Chain, and we looked at the different contract addresses over here in the premium membership, right? We looked at what ERC20 tokens have most inbound transfers, where is their most DEX trading activity. We can look through all of those and we search for them within DEX Screener, right, to get the liquidity pools. And then we can actually find out where is currently the action. Now, this is one of the charts that we pulled off with Dune. So this is the current updated dynamics here. This is the number of token holders of this KLUV token. And what's nice about it is these charts, they look pretty different for each kind of ERC20 token, right? For tokens that simply get just short-term hyped, you see like a very strong growth at the beginning and then a flattening out. For a small, steady growing coin, it looks different, right? The number of holders is increasing constantly. And it's nice to see something like this because this gives us the dynamics a bit clearer than the price, because the price is a bit more volatile, right? It can go up and down pretty massively. We don't know, are new buyers going to come into this? Is this actually the masses getting spooked out, or is this just a few whales that are selling? Once we have this chart, we know that the masses at least are constantly still buying in. Now, what's also nice about this chart, right, the number of holders, is we can now even put a threshold on this with Dune Analytics. So we can now look at how many holders hold at least, say, 0.1 token, or at least 1 token, or at least 10 tokens. So that way we can then split up the holdings based on, say, the small guy versus the whale, right? Are maybe the early investors, the whales, are they selling? And are all the outsiders now buying in? Or what's actually happening? So this is in general, right, the holders of this KLUV token over time. And we now up the threshold, right? And we now look at the holders that have at least 0.01 tokens. You can see it's less people, right? And it gets a bit more volatile here. Let's have the chart where we have at least 0.1 token of holders. So 0.1 tokens, that's currently roughly 5 US. So still most holders have at least $5 in this, right? Let's now up this to 1 token. So people that have at least $50 in this. And this already looks pretty different, right? We can see a lot of growth once we look at very small wallets. But once we increase the wallet size, there's actually some kind of a turnaround happening here in July of 2022. So pretty constant growth up until July, but since then a relatively constant decline. When we now look at the threshold of 10 tokens, so at the number of wallets that have at least 10 of these KLUV tokens, or have at least $500 in this, then we see this chart, right? So basically no real net growth since, say, middle of February of this year, right? A bit of upside, a bit of downside, but this nice continuous graph of additional adoption over time. Once we look at least $500 holders, right? This doesn't look as constant anymore. Now we can up this even more to 5,000, and then we can see the number of wallets is way, way smaller, right? It now goes only to say 20 wallets or so. So if you've got only quote unquote $5,000 in this small coin, then you are among the top 20 holders or so. So why is this all interesting? It's interesting because it shows us that this rally over here was not necessarily caused by a single whale. It's caused by a lot of small transactions. And when we look at the transaction history here on DEX Screener, we can also confirm this, right? A lot of small buys, right? $30, $500, $130, $100. So a lot of continuous buying, which tends, that's how I interpret this, tends to be a pretty healthy signal, right? You want to have a lot of buyers rather than one large buyer that can then, with a single sale, depress the price again. Now, this is how we figured out about all of this. And I will continue to make the analysis here in the premium membership to look at these different tokens, try to spot them early, and then simply publish them. But what's also important to note here is that this is really, really microcap, right? This is really just betting on the short-term momentum. And this is in the end really a game of greater fool, right? You have to ride the momentum, and if you make any money here, you're very likely going to take it from somebody else, because 99% of these kinds of assets will go to zero at some point. So you're simply just hoping that you're early in the process. That's why we do all of this analysis. Now, I tried to do a bit of fundamental research on this. I could find nothing, right? I couldn't find a website. I searched for Kismet Love. If you search for this together with crypto, you just get the generic crypto pages where there's no other additional information here. So I really couldn't find much. This seems to simply just be a random coin that's being thrown on the market. We do an image search. We can then find that there is going to be a related cinema movie potentially coming out, right? Kismet Love, Paisa Billy, Indian movie, I expect, on the 5th of October. So maybe this is what this is driving all. So truly very risky, probably a meme coin of some sort. What's also interesting, so that's also something that I do with each token. I look at the minting over time. So it's maybe the supply increasing over time that could then potentially depress the price. But any of those kinds of projects that can get rug pulled anytime, right? So don't regard this as an investment, simply regard this as a very, very risky speculation. Now, on top of that, what we can also do is we can look at the wallets, right? We can look at what kind of wallets have the largest position over here. We can then, for example, let's say we take this wallet of 20 tokens roughly. We can then enter this into DBank and look at other transactions that this person has done. So quite a bit of interesting data. Does it make sense to now jump on this token? As said, I don't have any position in this. I simply just pointed this out to the members. I don't have this conflict of interest where I buy a small token, then hype this on YouTube and then sell this to you guys. That's not what I'm planning to do. I rather try to educate on this channel that you can find these kinds of bets in the future. And of course, if you're interested in what I currently look at, feel free to check out thebitcoinstrategy.com. The link is also in the video description. There's also a public Telegram group. Simply search for Bitcoin Strategy channel within the Telegram app. And last but not least, if you haven't yet subscribed, feel free to do so. I publish videos regularly. There's also a video discussing the current state of this bear market. If you're interested in that, here's that video. Hope to see you in that video, and thanks for watching this one. Bye-bye.